Greetings family, Sister Shanice in the house. Welcome to the Sister Shanice Show channel. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. If you are new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. And while you're here, please do give us a thumbs up and a like as well. Thank you so much in advance. I've got some other links for you below should you want to join me on some of my other platforms, or should you want to join me in one of my training courses. Well, today's show, family, is concerning an event that happened straight out of the UK Houses of Parliament. Yes, it's concerning Diane Abbott and the fact that the Speaker of the House actually ignored her 46 times during a debate about racism. Diane Abbott, a black member of parliament who was elected back in 1987, one of the longest standing black MPs in the Houses of Parliament, if not the longest standing black MP, who has been fighting against racism for decades, and in a very important debate concerning racism and concerning the incident in which she was directly racially targeted and smeared, and where an incitement to racism and violence was hurled against her. In this very debate in the Houses of Parliament, she was ignored and not given the opportunity to speak, despite standing on her feet in an effort to be seen by the Speaker of the House that she wanted to speak. Not once or twice did he not notice her. Not 5 or 6 times did she stand up and he not notice her. Not 10, 15 or 20 times did she stand up and signal that she wanted to speak. Not 30 or 40 times did she stand up during the debate, indicating that she wanted to speak on this important issue. Family, she stood up 46 times and was ignored 46 times and was denied the opportunity to speak 46 times. Absolutely shocking. The Speaker of the House should be asked to resign over this matter. It is clear to most of us that he simply did not want to give her, as a black woman, the opportunity to speak about racism. Who better qualified than a victim of racism to actually speak about racism? Well, clearly the Speaker of the House didn't think so. For the Speaker of the House to ignore Diane Abbott 46 times, what does this say about the Speaker of the House? What does this say about all the other MPs who are in Parliament who happened to notice that Diane Abbott was trying to speak all of this time, or who would have expected her to have said something about this important topic? What does it say about them not saying anything at all? What does it say about them maybe not even giving way to Diane Abbott, or when they're on their feet signalling to the Speaker that she's trying to say something? No, everybody ignored her, it seems, and the meeting ended and she didn't get to say a word about this important matter. She was being talked about, she was being talked at, but just wasn't, even though she was at the table, not being invited to speak. I mean, clearly what that clip shows is that even when representatives from our community are elected and invited to sit at the table to talk about issues from maybe an African-centered perspective or from the perspective of their entire constituency, because, Hackney is a very diverse community. Look at what happens. Their contributions and their input gets downplayed, and they're not invited to talk. Blatant racism, extreme racism, and those who have the knowledge of it and have the opportunity to share that knowledge with the House are being denied the opportunity to do so. So clearly, there does need to be a debate, another debate about racism, and black MPs and those who have some understanding of racism need to have the opportunity to So as is clear from recent events, racism has far from disappeared from the UK. It's far from disappeared from UK politics. It's far from disappeared from discussions and debates in the Houses of Parliament. So clearly there still does need to be further debates about racism and anti-racism and what can be done to eradicate racism in Britain. There needs to be a debate that not only talks about the issue but talks about solutions to the problems of racism, because as most of us in the UK know, racism impacts us on all levels. It impacts us within education, within employment, within the judiciary system, you know, if we're trying to do business, housing. Racism impacts us on every facet, on every level within Britain. And there needs to be the debate and there needs to be solutions as well. Not just debate for debate's sake, but for solutions as well. And in particular, victims of racism, direct racism, young people who are suffering racism in the schools, all need to be involved in the discussion about racism and how to eradicate it. Let's get the conversation going in Britain on a constructive level. On another aspect of the life of Diane Abbott as the Hackney MP, I must say it was very warming, very heartening indeed to see the support. Her supporters come out and support her in that campaign and rally outside of Hackney Town Hall. Wow, you know, when you consider the number of hate mail messages and what this particular MP has had to endure during her life as an MP, you know, decades later, to see the amount of supporters that are prepared to come out at such short notice to signal that they stand with Diane Abbott, my. Big up to every single one of you who was out there on the steps. And what do we still have to say about Frank Hester, who was, you know, the instigator, who was the one who made the vile comments about Diane Abbott and all black women as well. You know, what do we have to say about him? Well, what we do know is that he's a millionaire. His wealth is estimated to be about £415 million. I think, you know, we're still waiting for criminal charges to be brought against him. We're still waiting for appropriate action to be taken. And I think in the meantime, he needs to be signalling, you know, how many of those millions he's going to be putting into anti-racist programs, because my, isn't it needed? He has, you know, unleashed a beehive now of racism across Britain, and he needs to do what he can to put the cap back on it. Those are my thoughts. I welcome to hear the views, thoughts and opinions of you, the wonderful listeners and those in the audience. All being well, see you on Wednesday live as we do 8 p.m. every Wednesday here on the Sister Shanice Show. Take care, more strength, more power, more voodoo to each and every one of you. Check out the clips as they follow. We stand with Diane. 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 We stand with Diane.
To save this moment, to see an amazing woman who has stood firm with resilience and strength. And as CLP goes, she's the most hard-working MP, regularly attends, is accountable to her members. Okay, so I want to pass over to the MP for Hackney North and Stoke Newington, the Right Honourable Diane Abbott. First of all, thank you the Hackney people that organised this event, because you don't become Britain's first black woman MP just like that. It is Hackney people that selected me in the 80s. It is Hackney people that worked to get me elected in the 80s. And it is Hackney people that have stood by me year after year,
every time,
decade after decade.
And we continue standing by you.
What I want to say is this. This is not about me. This is about the level of racism and disrespect in Britain.
That's right.
And this is about the way that black women are disrespected. Decade on decade. My mother came to this country in the 1950s as a nurse. She was that generation of black women that built the National Health Service. And you know, when they came in the 50s and 60s, they were in a special grade, the SEN grade. They couldn't become ward sisters, they couldn't become matrons. Very often they were always a night shift. And you know, the disrespect goes on year after year. A year ago, I stood outside the town hall for a rally for a poor 14-year-old blackly girl that the police stripped her. Stripped her. And to this day, she has not had an apology.
Disgusting.
So,
Arrest the police.
we have to stand up. We have to stand firm. We have to make sure that for generations of young black people, they don't have to suffer the racism that we have to suffer.